there's a lot of people in family law that end up representing themselves. They go to court by themselves. So I think it's mostly due to they either think they can't afford an attorney, or they can't afford an attorney for full representation, which they think is the only thing that's available. Or they don't think they need an attorney. Those, I think, I haven't done any formal surveys, but those are the three reasons why I think someone would actually go to court without an attorney. So if they think they don't need an attorney, I would probably disagree with them in most instances. It's their right. Anyone can represent themselves, but it's usually not a good idea. It is a legal process. There are, repercussions to legal orders, and sometimes you can go back and change something that you find out was incorrect or not in your best interest, but sometimes you can't. And even when you can change it, a lot of times it's more expensive than doing it correctly the first time. So by and large, if you're going to have a legal matter, it's probably in your best interest to have an attorney. So then comes the other two. Well, a lot of people say, well, I can't afford an attorney. And that may be true for some people for what they think representation is going to cost them. And by and large, regular representation is very expensive. I mean, it just is. Attorneys charge quite a bit an hour, and legal matters, you never know how much time is going to be spent. And in order to properly prepare a case from start to finish, and most attorneys are going to make their best efforts, it's going to spend a lot of hours, it's going to cost a lot of money. So some people can't afford that full representation, but a lot of people think that's the only thing that's available. What they don't know is that for quite a few years now, Connecticut has allowed something called partial representation or limited scope representation. We call it a-la-carte representation. So you can hire an attorney if you can't afford it for your whole case. You can hire an attorney for bits and pieces of your cases where you think you might need the most help, thereby kind of controlling the cost, right? Limiting the cost of the matter, and putting what money they do have into the part of the representation or the case that they needed the most. So sometimes people just might need help drafting the legal documents, because if you don't prepare the paperwork in the correct way, you're a goner from the start. You get to court and they tell you that you've incorrectly completed the forms, or you haven't stated the appropriate claims, or you haven't asked for the appropriate relief. So we offer, and what's allowed is just hiring an attorney just to prepare your paperwork. So it's a very limited type of representation. They come in, they tell us what they need, we have a consultation, and then usually for just a flat fee, we can prepare whatever motion or motions they need. They know it's done correctly, then they take it to the court, they pay the filing fee if there is a filing fee, and they can go off and do the rest of the case on their own. Sometimes people get served with paperwork, or in the middle of a case get paperwork that they just don't even understand what it means, or they're not sure that they understand it correctly. So again, another one of our offerings is just to review and explain paperwork. So most of the times it happens when people first get served paperwork, but sometimes it is during the middle of a case, they receive something that they're just not sure of, or they don't understand, or how it affects the case that they already have going. So at that point, they thought that they've understood the process. Up till that point, they don't understand why they've gotten this new paperwork, or why the judge is asking for certain paperwork, and they come in and they have us. And then again, almost everything's a consultation. They have to come and explain to me what it is. I take a look at it, and again, for a flat fee, usually just the consultation fee, I can tell them I can identify the documents, I could tell them why they probably received the documents and what their obligations are concerning the documents, whether it's something they should worry about, not worry about, whether it's something they have to respond to, not respond to it, and at least they know where they stand. And again, that's just a very small little bit of assistance that I can give them, which again can then send them on their way, and they can handle the rest of the matter themselves, but at least they know confidently that they're not misinterpreting something, or that they're handling something the correct way. for just a very, nominal flat fee.